That real rap, chilly, chill, relax. Or you can get that, flip that, like acrobatic, like my sister, all dramatic. You don't want no static, I'll leave you scared up in the attic with a mother Roger Rabbit. Real smooth, nothing to it, overkill the competition. Leave them locked up in the sauce while I'm eating in the kitchen. Let everybody know this that new rap edition. I got what you're missing. This that bomb man, listen, get it, got it, good like it ought to be. Treat me like a king, all these girls want to spoil me. Crush them like the second cars on Brooklyn, baby, keep it calm, catch your breath. You wanna miss them steps, I'm so on fleek. Skill level tight, unique. From Broadway to Bellroad, homie watch me get it, gotta want it, really hit it. Respect the moves, time to pivot. In the middle of the winter, my whole town so summer, yes. Seeking the king, feeling right with the bitch on down, my building up on the 7 seas. Cause I nothing feel with start a fire. Fire. Worried the mind, it's a feel. Already red, yeah. I sing pretty to the moon. You know the liars and the chanted more.
Bomb legacy, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life. Dying nasty over daylight, can't see me sit down and play keynotes like Stevie. My name stuck in your memory. The don't think moves and we can get all this cash money. Rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life.
I rhyme just to show them skills. I'm only 10, but I'm about to pay them bills. Bring it on, we could get it on. Either it's cold or warm, anytime I'm on, you can ring the alarm like the fuse to the bomb. Keep it calm, or you're gonna end up really wrong. Get it straight, or you better escape my rap's whole weight. I'm so greedy on the whole plate. You looking so late, just fall back with it, or be the next accident. Whoops, don't make me, or even try to fake me. I play with toys still, but you cannot play me. So I'm big with it. Yes, I done did it. I'm up in the party with a brand new fitted, and you could ask my mama. I was born for this drama. Now back to the cake, cause I'm all about them commas. Whoa, let it rain, let it rain, let it rain.
Rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life. Dying nasty by daylight, can't see me sit down and play keynotes like Stevie. My name stuck in your memory. Just don't fake moves and we can get all this cash money. Rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life. Just let the bass drum make your whole face numb. And when I come, you gon' know where I'm really from. What we really about, leave no doubt. You just a Boy Scout, don't make me bring my boys out. You can't hurt this, I did it all on purpose. And we all know who's the clown up in the circus. Come get the wave while it's still on premium. Cause next week, I'm not even seeing them or even being them. Before I go on fleet and run, I'll be right back. Be getting numbers like that. Don't get trapped, always from me, you hear that real rap. You take a nap, they gon' hate while we getting it. Crush your whole empire cause I'm all about the busyness. Known to cause dizziness, should've called me Busy Biz. Let it work, tell the world don't want no broke girl. We can stack money like it ain't even funny. Rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life. Dying nasty in broad daylight, can't see me sit down and play keynotes like Stevie. My name stuck in your memory. The don't think moves and we can get all this cash money. Rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life, rapping for life. Bomb legacy, bomb legacy, bomb legacy, bomb legacy.
It's that New York down in California. CPT, Dr. J.O.Z. Some big ass beat, Kingsbridge to Bompton. I represent Phoenix, Arizona.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you at. Shout out to all my peoples all around the world. Today we are going to talk about racism. Man, racism, it comes in all kind of forms, whether it be racism, prejudice, it's all around us, and there's a little situation that we've been dealing with, okay, with Bello. We're not going to do the name calling because there's no need for that. All right, and I want you to know exactly who I'm talking about, okay? Now, just to give everybody a little synopsis, because you might not know what's going on, it was a little situation with me and a guy named DJ Bello. He was interviewing all of these people, predominantly black people, okay? And my silliness, I didn't do the research I was supposed to. So as soon as I found out some things, of course, my antennas was up, because like I said, once I see a white person coming amongst predominantly black circles and you're doing the yo, a little too extra, the Michael Rappaport
type of situation, I'm gonna have the side eye, and there shouldn't be a problem with that. Because when I come amongst your circles, okay, these other circles that are not, predominantly black, okay, even though I'm mixed, but still, people go by what they see. I'm not a dummy, okay. That's just what it is. That's why racism is silly. It's fear, okay. It's fear. It's anger, and just think about it. You could have two kids, which I have, I wouldn't say family, but extended family. Okay, my friend of mine has a white kid and a black kid. I mean, when you see them, okay, one kid you couldn't even think they were brothers and sisters. Even myself, I had problems. Okay, get locked on the West Coast. Okay, nothing I'm proud about. Let me just say that, but it's very very racial. You come on the West Coast, so yeah, you can't even eat without your race. Okay, you can't even cut people's hair. I'm a barber, so I cut people's hair, and here it is. I'm locked up, and I don't play the race thing, so I'm cutting everybody's hair, and that damn near started a riot. That started a riot. You don't supposed to switch food and all of it. These are crazy things, and like I'm telling them, you know how stupid that is. You could be my brother. Let's say my mother slept with another race, and then here you come out. So that's what people don't understand. It's such embedded in people's head. Yes, know about your past, but this is the future that you're living in. And if you keep doing the stuff that was going on in the past, it's going to remain your future. So that's the sad part of it. And getting back to what we was talking about with this Velo guy. Okay, what first struck me was, other than the yo stuff, was you have people running around calling themselves La Costa Nostra, when I know, okay, from my time in Europe, okay, not just in Italy, in Europe, where it's looked at like that's just how it is. Okay, we don't let black people in. That's just how it is. Well, first of all, La Costa Nostra is just for Sicilians. Okay, so for somebody to come over here having a consigliere and all of that stuff, this fantasy thing where it's this champion thing, and you got a black person or you have a Latin person, just that alone, break it down. At least that, right? So it became a big argument, and this is what people do. That's why we're going to talk about racism today, because what a lot of people do is they throw other cans in it, the apples and orange thing, because what they do is they like to, throw the smoke screen over people's head, and that's what happened. Okay, oh, he's being hypocritical. Just anybody don't believe me? Look back to research. As soon as I said something, okay, you start putting old footage up of me talking about, oh, he's hypocritical. One day he told me this, one day he told me this. Hello, that's how things go. How you doing, MFC in the building? All right,
Hello.
OG from the
Happy
BX.
Tuesday.
Yes. Oh, we hate the middle of the week, but every day is my birthday. Well, mainly Sunday. But no, we're talking about racism today. MFC, we're talking about racism today. I'm glad you jumped in because although you've been upset at me a little bit because of this Velo thing, I know you've been screaming on me, talking about abusing my face. You'll pop me a time or two, but I'm just trying to do some knowledge to some people, because obviously a lot of people, they don't got it. They don't got it. And the sad part is, there's so many things. I think I sent you, I'm not sure what you have watched to this point, but there's so many people. We even have a black man calling a white man master, joking with it. And this is, I'm forget the man. Okay, this guy named Artist, who's black, called Velo master more than one time, joking around with it, right? Because I was saying that you're acting like he's your master. So he's trying to, put it on that. But for Velo, and this is after the Toby situation came out, which Velo tried to claim his dog is named Toby. He tried to claim the kids named him that. Okay, all right. Let's just say let's give him the benefit of the doubt, right? But then, not even a week later, 4 days later, you got somebody calling you master publicly, and you're laughing about it. Like it's all giggles and jokes. When you can't tell me you didn't know about racism, you didn't know about slavery, you didn't know about. And this is a guy from Bensonhurst. I got ran out of Bensonhurst, okay, for dipping and diving with one of them, Italiana mommies. I got that craziness about me. But no, so I know. I grew up around Little Italy. I know, okay, dealing with certain females or dealing with certain males, because it goes with the males as well. All right, and the part that's just, it's clear in people's face and they didn't see it. Like I got black people coming at me, MFC, that was, oh, you're being hateful and you're just a hypocrite and whoa, did you do your research on
But
what you're
see, I
supporting?
believe what it is. It's a lot of stuff.
Go ahead.
In a lot of cases, because just as an example, I asked my granddaughter who's in her early 20s and she went to college, so, a lot of stuff you don't learn in school when you go to college is like, whoa, really?
Yeah.
So I asked her about the whole thing about Toby. And she said, well, what's the thing about Toby?
Mhm.
So I said, you didn't see, the
Roots.
miniseries Roots. And she didn't know what I was talking about. And
Yeah.
this is my own granddaughter. So I said, you know what? So I said, look, when you have a chance, because that's one thing, we strive on in our household, is if you don't know something, so you research it. And then, true, don't get me wrong, a lot of people, because of our schedules and stuff like that, we can't. But when we have a little moment here or there, just research it. And then when you start looking at it, then you get a little interested and then say, oh, okay. And that's why, okay, I didn't see it like that. So the thing is, I feel a lot of people, especially our younger generation, they have so much stuff. Like I said again, they have so much stuff on their plate. It's not like when in my age group when I was growing up. It wasn't like in your age group when you was growing up. So
Okay.
everybody doesn't have. I'm not saying everybody doesn't know, okay? But for the people that don't, if they do a little research, then they say, now when it comes to the slavery part, okay, you know how I am. I'm very tight on that. That's not something to play with.
Let's stay on that. Let's stay on that.
Yeah.
What's the
No, I'm
excuse?
just saying as an example.
What's the
That's not
excuse? The Toby thing, okay. Yeah, the dog ate my homework. That could be okay. But what about the
right.
slavery? You
The
think that's
slavery
still
part.
playing around with it?
Okay, that's nothing to play around with. Okay, and especially, but and that's why, like the word. Okay, in my household, we didn't use the word. Okay, because it was a derogatory word.
The
Okay,
N
I
word.
knew that much. Now I know by the 80s, it was changed into something as an endearment kind of thing, and the
Mhm.
spelling was a little bit different, and like that's my homie and stuff like that. Okay, but I still didn't play that because I already knew that was a bad word. That was a negative. That was a down. That's like the person always calling you boy
Yeah.
instead
And we're
of
gonna talk about that
Mister.
too. We're gonna talk about that too. I've
Instead
seen a
of
lot.
Mr. something,
The, the reason
and
why boy, let's stay on that. The reason why boy, see, a lot of people don't know that. They would call a black man that. You could be in your
right,
60s. They would call you boy. That's why if you
yeah,
notice, that's not towards black people anymore because it's such a hurtful thing. But I want
yeah.
to talk about this because I've seen a lot
But you do have
of
people that
black
will do
people
that
calling
just to
white
be
people boy.
disrespectful. Yeah,
No, but like a lot of white, okay, the same thing with cracker, okay? You
right.
can do that, but listen, just remember, two wrongs don't make a right.
No, that's true. That's
Okay,
true.
two wrongs, and this is why we bringing up this Velo situation because I've been off that. Trust me, you know what we're doing. But I'm just using this as a situation, okay? Because
Yeah,
now what he's doing or he's going to do, okay, if I'm correct, I'm going to play Nostradamus. He's going to play the white girl victim, is what I call it. And what I mean by that is they'll start up some stuff. The next thing you know, they go play the victim role. Just like the little I saw, I think he was playing, oh, look at, they're calling me cracker. They're calling, like, really? You don't listen to Charlemagne? He says that on the radio, which I don't agree with. You know why I don't agree with it? Because it gives these white people talking points. Remember, I'm
yeah,
around them,
yeah,
okay? You're giving them talk about, well, would you call us these names? It's just calling names in general. That's why if you notice,
yeah,
I'm saying fellow, okay? He's
yeah,
calling me bozo. All of these names,
yeah,
9 times out of 10, he would not say it in my face. And it's not no
yeah.
tough guy stuff or nothing,
And
but
that's part of reality too. When a person purposely miscalls your name, it's a diss. It's automatically a diss, and it's you can't it's but again, like I said, sometimes people come straight at you, and some people do it to a slide
oh,
thing.
I'm all
But
with the distance.
racism, but
Do
like
it
I
to
said,
their
as
face.
far as for me, for that person, hey, I already told you he's off my. He
No,
never
no,
was
no.
on my
I
list
get it. I get
anyway.
it. But we're not just
I
talking
leave that
about
alone because
it.
you know what? We have too many positive people out here and too many intelligent people that we're building and we're doing great things and stuff like that that we don't have
Yeah, but
time for
this
the
is not about
nonsense.
us. This is not about us. It's about racism, and that's what we're
No, that's
talking
true.
about. Okay,
That's
so
true.
let's not.
That's
All
true.
right, so let's not get
Yeah.
on that. And what we're pointing it out, the reason why I'm pointing it out is to show people, because obviously people are being blinded. Okay, it's like the whole theory of, oh, across the street, the black ice might not be the same as the white ice because they got more money, and there's things I've heard where, for example, like Roski said, shout out to Roski, but he said, oh, just because he's white, he has money. When that's not the case. When that's not the case. And that's why I brought up my personal situation where I had a white woman die, my child's mother, okay, and I had the family just do some crazy stuff. I didn't even see people in the ghetto do it, okay?
Right.
And that's
Exactly.
because my son has that black blood. That's the
Yes.
ugliness in racism. And that's what I'm talking about.
That's true.
Just in
That's true.
general, okay. So
That's
this
true.
facade, people think, oh, just because you're white, you got money. Just because you're white, you're all holy. Just because, and that was my situation with Bello, for example, with that old
Right.
mafioso stuff. Tell the truth about it. That honor
Yeah.
stuff they talk is bull crap.
Yeah.
Okay, they're the biggest snitches. Ask anybody in the feds.
Yeah.
Okay, the mob, and I
But
pointed out how the heads were snitching on a black man just because he moved in the neighborhood. He was doing the same thing as them, doing dirt.
yeah, he's
Imagine.
getting too
Look
close.
it up. Not getting too close, but this is my
He
thing.
was too close in
Please.
their neighborhood. It's
No,
different
but
when you're
yeah, but
outside.
okay,
That's why they had to get rid of him.
because he was black. That's racism. Let's call it what it
Yes.
is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And that wasn't right on
No.
any level. So people need to, and everybody throwing the N word around. If that hasn't got, this is 2023. This is
Right.
2023, and you get mad when a white person says the N word. Really, really, and
But
you're
see,
calling him cracker. You're calling him okay. Even the Pilgrim thing. We got to get off the names. It's so many creative ways we can be to hurt somebody if you want to do that. Okay, because then when it comes back to you, you're not gonna like it.
right. Well, like I said, with racism, it's dangerous. And I believe we said this before. With racism, people have lost their lives, and people still losing their lives.
Yeah.
Because of racism.
Yeah.
Okay. And the thing is that, and that's why I always say, especially for Black people, okay. And don't get me wrong, I'm not leaving out brown people either, and
They
and
the same.
Native Americans.
Black
I
and
mean,
white.
I'll say all minorities, and I'll leave it that way, because you know what, all minorities have to fight every day. It's not easy, but they do it, and that's why I say I tip my hat off and give salutes to all, because it's not easy. You have to go to your job, you have to work harder, you have to show and prove. At the same time, you always have to be careful, just like how you said before. With different places you go into, you got to know how to handle yourself.
Yeah.
As a Black person, okay.
As a Spanish person.
Or
No, but
even as a Spanish person,
but it also
but
goes with
anyone other than white. Okay, we'll leave it that way. So bottom line is that, so that's something that people get every day, and some people handle it, and unfortunately a lot of people, since there's so much stuff going on, they try to not dwell on that. They try not to dwell on it. Yeah, and so but I always say it's good that because like I said, I'm still learning. So for me, I look at the fact that, we're at the end of the day, we're all human. We're on this planet. We breathe air. We eat food the same
but
way.
everybody doesn't see it that way. Let me ask you a question.
And that's true.
I sent you a little bit of the stuff that was going on, right? With my little
Yeah.
dirtiness, as I call it. From what
Yeah.
you saw, why you don't think Bello can never have a conversation with me? Remember, we're on the computer. We never was face to face.
It's okay. It's his upbringing itself, because the way he looks at things, okay, because you go by a person, how they speak, how they carry themselves in conversations, or if you watch, now that we have the internet, you can watch a person conversate in other things. In most cases, before all this technology, it would be you meeting a person face to face, right? Or even on a phone or something. And then after a few conversations, you might say, wait a minute, that person said something out of, my spider senses have gone up. Okay. But again, like I said, with people that are like that, okay, it's like they're always right. And it's like there's no room. There's no room for, well, I said this, but now when you say it back to me, it's a problem. Okay. Now, especially, that could be anything. So what I'm saying is, say for instance, with him, okay, it was a question. You asked a question that never got answered.
Yeah, no,
Because
but
to
why?
answer
I'm
that,
asking you why. I know why.
yes,
I'm asking from what you saw, why?
yes, okay, because because by doing that, explaining the right way, the correct way of what that means,
The
okay,
Costa Rica, yeah.
the La Cosa Nostra, okay, then
That
people will
will
start
open
saying,
the
well, wait a
Pandora's
minute.
box.
More people will start saying, well, wait a minute, that are listening to that platform, and they'll say, well, wait a minute, if that's the case, da 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 da, and then they start doing it. Now, again, like I said, there's things that have gotten rougher, like you said. You haven't been the only one that's on his radar. Okay, he's on other people are on his radar. Anyone that he feels doesn't agree about him,
Yeah.
they're called out of names, and you know they're like he dismisses, like you're dismissed,
Yeah.
like he's some kind of a whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hierarchy.
he's dismissing, right, and he's dismissing his his little court or something like that.
Minion,
But you
yeah.
know what? So again, it's like at the end of the day, do you want to be around someone like that, or do you, especially if you're a person doing stuff, and even as people coming in that have their own stuff going on, right? No matter where you live at, there's always stuff going on. No matter
Yeah.
if you live in New York, or you live out in Arizona or California or Chicago, there's always stuff going on.
Shout out to
Okay,
Vegas. Go ahead.
right, and shout out to Vegas. But
Mhm.
again, if you have this negativeness like this, or like someone feels they're better than you and they could talk to you any kind of way they think they can, but the reality is, okay, I was born in Brooklyn, raised in the Bronx. That's not reality. You can't come face to face, toe to toe, and talking like that to the average person.
Okay.
It's not going to work that well. Okay.
Right.
So, and the reason why for that is because when you're dismissing or you're demeaning a person, regardless if it's a man or a woman, because women can just defend themselves just as good as a man, okay? But men take it a bit stronger, because now you're challenging their manhood,
Mhm.
okay? And that's, so again, like I said, so for me, talking about racism, it's rough for everybody, and that's why I say, you know what, you learn, when you have a chance, you look into stuff, or you follow, like you follow these different these different podcasts and stuff, and you see stuff that you like, and that's the ones you follow. And then if you see that person is getting way off to somewhere else that you definitely don't support, then you unsubscribe. Okay, and but at the same time, and that's what I try to tell everybody. Now, for him, he's a parent. So my thing is, as a grandparent, I have to be. I'm that role model. I'm an example. So for me to act any kind of way, like say what he did, okay, how is that example to your children? Is that how you want that same mentality in your household, like that? Okay. So
But
again, like I said, hey, to
you
each
didn't
his own, and that's why I have to
No,
say,
you didn't answer the question though, and I'm going to answer the question. I
right,
feel the reason he did not talk to me when I was asking him numerous times on a few podcasts, not just his, okay,
right,
platform. So here it is. The question wasn't answered, in my humble opinion, because
right,
here it is, a black man that is mixed, because he brung up these things. Okay.
right,
Oh, he's not Italian. How would he know? Just things that had nothing to do with, these are apples and oranges for what I'm asking.
right,
You understand what I'm saying? Now, had I
right.
been an Italian man, would it be taken the same? So this is what people need to look at and to see
And
the
that's the
part that's
racism piece.
alarming. Okay, the part that's alarming to me, MFC, is here it is. I've had numerous people. We had people come on this podcast, okay, like Hoodies Up, for example, Oliver. Okay, he brung something in, threw that bomb, let it go off. Then you couldn't hold that weight when you went back over there to him. And even after, and I talked to Oliver alone, one-on-one, said, hey, maybe listen to that, because I got wind of how he went and put his tail under his ass, and maybe he didn't hear how he was demeaning him a little bit earlier, right?
Right.
And still, I was told, "Oh, you trying to do this for views?" And what? What? Obviously, you don't know me. One, two. Okay, this is the type of person that's a weasel. Why are you a weasel? Because you can't hold your own. You brung that Toby stuff up. Not that it even bothered me, because you know what? That's not surprising to me. Once I see a person talk and act in the fashion that that Velo guy did, and then you're having people, not just black people, but Latin people, anybody other than Sicilian, talking at La Costa Nostra cosplay, which is okay, but say it's that. And you didn't say that. What you did was say, "Oh, I got the okay from the peoples," and really, and then you get upset because I'm telling you the truth. Like, tell the truth about that. It's Hollywood. Like, it's a bunch of crabs in the barrel. You got actually kingpins that will blow them out, blow the whole family out money wise. This is not the 40s. But and also talk about being you're coming amongst our circles. Talk about how your people did us wrong. And what I mean by doing us wrong, but with the Italians, okay, throwing that heroin for years, okay, into our communities, not theirs. And then they have this little folklore. Oh, they can't sell drugs. And what did you forget the pizza connection? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So talk about that. Don't talk about the second language is African and all that. But so why they shitting on them? Hard body. When I'm using you, I'm shitting on you.
Yeah.
You feel me? I could take you out, and we could be partners. So if I'm not doing that, I'm shitting on you.
Yeah.
You know, not to mention,
or like they said, you could be at work, but you can't be at the table.
Okay, and nothing's right about that, though. Nothing's right about that. See, this the big worry with me is, here it is. I have a kid. Just by looking at him, you would think he's white, and it's not right for him to be mistreated. Okay, MFC, from a white woman growing up in New York, when's the first time you found out about racism? Could you please tell me?
The first time I found out about racism, and I guess you call it reverse racism, I guess, is back in 1970 when I started working, and job hunting. And here I am, a 9th grade dropout, okay, because I had a child. And back then you had to be 17 years old to take the GED. I was only 15. So I worked, had my little papers, and I worked. So we used to go on interviews. You get the New York Times on Sunday. It has 10,000 different jobs. Yeah. Make a long story short, so 20 people go to the same job for things. Girl I met, she was black, and she had an associate's degree. She had just graduated, from college, yeah. Now, meanwhile, here I am, 9th grade. That's it. No GED, nothing. Okay. And so she went in before me. She was interviewed. Then after the interview, you leave. So I figured, I'm already downtown in Manhattan. I'll stay around. I go in there. And the way it used to be back then, they hire you on the spot.
Okay.
So sometimes you hang up your coat and start working immediately, or they have you come right back the next morning. Mm-hmm. Okay. I got hired on the spot. So it bothered me, like, how did I get this job? And this woman was more, and we talked. She was really nice. She spoke really well. And I said, she definitely had the job. I knew it. And so it bothered me because something didn't feel right. So I went home, talked to my moms, and I said, something's wrong. And so my mother explained to me, she said, the way companies are, and this is 1970, they said they can't have a black person in the front. So they hired you. So it's considered reverse racism or whatever. Yeah. And I was picked because the color of my skin versus someone black. Even though she had all the qualifications, she was way, way, way qualified more than me. Okay.
Let me explain something. You said that's the 70s. That ain't stopping.
That was 1970. Yeah, so my thing was that was the first time about racism. And something did not feel right. Yeah. So I didn't stay at that company within 2 or 3 weeks.
Predominantly Black and Latinos, right? You grew up with?
Yes. Because in my neighborhood, when I was a little kid, when we first moved there in the late 50s, it was predominantly Italian and Irish. And then when they built the projects up, the Jackson projects, we had what they call, within 6 months, it's called white flight.
How long? Say that again?
Yeah. That's like
6 months?
1960.
So
It was
not even a
called white.
year. White flight was not even a year, right?
No, it was 6 months.
Yeah, yeah,
They was gone. The
yeah.
only white people that stayed behind were people that, like in my mom's case, she felt comfortable in the neighborhood. Okay, so she was cool. So
Yeah.
she wasn't running nowhere. And and there was other white people that stayed. Some didn't have the money to move, and some were just comfortable.
Mm.
Okay, but then the neighborhood changed to predominantly Black and Spanish.
And
Okay,
I want to add, it wasn't just because of the people. The money wasn't there anymore. Okay,
it wasn't about the money.
lost, it
No,
lost a
it
lot
was
of.
it,
It wasn't
it was
funded. Same with the schools. Okay, that's my opinion. But go ahead.
yeah,
What
no.
did you
Back in
say?
that time, it was we could no. Once the projects moved in, once
Yeah.
they built up the projects, these people left because they knew with the projects were bringing in low income people, and that's
Okay.
why the people left. So unfortunately, but it was cool. I had a lot of friends in the projects, and I thought it was
Yeah,
cool to live in the projects.
but
I
what
had an
I saw
elevator.
is people they wouldn't have no funding. That's what I saw growing up in the 90s. These wasn't the
That's
same thing.
later on. That's that.
No,
That
I know that, but I'm saying you're not
yeah.
getting the same funding as other places. You know what I mean? I
Well,
would go as far as there and see the areas over there.
by the time the 90s came,
Okay,
even by the 80s too, but more or less between the late 80s and 90s,
yeah,
so much they call here it's called NYCHA, the projects in New York City. Okay, they were the money was so, I mean, it was so ruthless that even till today, these places they don't fix. So people have the rats, the roaches, the mold. Okay, while camera people come in, the the camera person is like jumping all over the place, and this is what a person lives with for months or even
yeah.
years.
We got
And
somebody named. Hold on, Mama B. My dog's name was Toby, a tiny Chihuahua Russell mix. Tan is white. What's wrong with naming a dog Toby? I'm just jumping in. I get it, but what we
okay,
just said before
what
was
happened was right, but she may
even
not
though
have.
you named the dog, hold on, even though you named the dog, okay, she's Mexican, but this is not. And see, this is what people get wrong. Regardless, and I said, let's say
No,
that was okay.
let's
A couple of
explain.
days later, you're laughing at slavery, black slavery, which you can't say you didn't know about. So that's the thing.
Some people may not know about the Toby thing.
Okay,
So
that's what I'm
when
trying
they
to
learn,
finish.
yeah,
What I'm
they
saying
research
is,
it.
yes, but MFC, it doesn't matter. We're off the Toby thing. We were on it. Now that I'm trying to answer that person's question. Now, as far as Toby, it didn't really matter over here. He went and made it a thing. Why? Because you couldn't talk about La Costa Nostra. And that's what we're talking about. This is what racist people do. They deflect. That's the first thing they do. And that's a deflection. That Toby stuff didn't hold weight over here. Oliver brung that here. Then he went over there like a spineless boy, okay, and put his tail up his ass. That's what, coming from Velo, we made it a big thing. No, we didn't.
Well,
okay?
the thing was with Toby, okay, for people with the Black history that knew about the slavery and knew about the Toby,
MFC, but
they knew. I'm just saying that part.
You're getting stuck on it. MFC, that's
no, I'm not getting stuck. But there's people in the audience that don't realize about the Toby. That's all I'm saying.
MFC, it's not a problem with me. You know why? Because there are guys named Toby, and even if you didn't know it,
that's true.
Okay, so why is that a problem? People name their dog Cocaine, Rambo. That's not a problem, but it is a problem when a couple of days later, okay, you're really showing me your true colors when you're laughing at a black man calling you master.
Right, but what I'm just saying is that you can name your animal any name you want to name it, but I'm just saying there's a what can I say, a sensitive side to when
MFC, you just said your granddaughter didn't know. MFC, your granddaughter didn't know what Toby meant, correct?
No, she didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Now she's researching it.
Okay, so the same way Velo maybe didn't know. But my thing is, I'm around. Okay, use me for example. Okay, I have Asian friends. Okay, so if I'm in their circles, entrenched in their stuff, and I hear I did something that's a little disrespectful, I'm a probably, watch myself. Not to mention, it's something I know, unless I just don't give a rat's ass, which is what he feels and he believes, because he showed it with his. See, your actions speak louder than words over here.
That's true.
Okay, so let's get off
That's
the
true.
Toby thing because I don't want people thinking we felt some way about that. My partner, Big Freeze, he said, "Oh, is his dog black?" That was the question. But as far as
Right.
us harping on that, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Because yes,
Right.
like you said, MFC, but that roots thing, I know a lot of people don't watch it. You know why? Because of racism, they took it off TV. Remember, they played it every year, right or wrong.
Right. It's a mini series
Okay.
that they played. Yes.
You notice they stopped it. You know why? Because the Enlightenment, and have you noticed they
Exactly.
dumbed it down, whether it be from music, okay. And this entails into racism, just like the situation we just had with this Velo guy was over racism. Why? Because that La Costa Nostra entails racism. Why? Because you cannot be down if your ass is not Sicilian, and that is wrong. And a person like Velo who has a mixed kid, you should be talking about that. Number one. Okay. Not to mention, one more thing. He interviewed a black guy named Trace who doesn't seem all here. And the reason why I say that is you're talking about things. Well, let's just say some chatty patty type of man. You're talking about things that damn near shouldn't be talked about on the internet. One, two, you. I hate people that do that. Me and you get in the problem, and I just want to. Oh, but you did this, but you did that. Come on, girls don't even do that anymore. And then I throw it on the person who's interviewing them, Bello. Yeah, we on your ass today because here it is. That could be a problem. You could start a beef amongst these people. Do you care? No. And that's the same way people look at a DJ Vlad because he asks his questions, and here it is. You can get somebody in trouble, and then you don't even edit the stuff out. And that's what, if you look back, that's what I was telling Bello the first night he interviewed Trace. You know why? Because my thing is that's no integrity. You feel me? If I know this person is not witty enough to not talk about this, why would I ask him? Then on top of it, I throw it on the comments. The comments told me to say it. So I said, and then I look last night, he's still doing the same thing. Oh, Black to the P, that's this guy, right? Supposedly they was talking crap about. And he tells it, and we're talking about things where it could go into beef. Why? You're talking about a person's child. You're talking about a family member, talking about another family member. You know what I mean? So you could fester up so many things that you have no power over. That's not caring. But then on the other hand, you're going to say, oh, I got love for you. Oh, this is my man. Really?
Yeah. Well, see, like Mama B says, okay, we all have made a lot of, now, like I told you, in the last 20, 30 years, there's more mixed people. There's more mixed children. Okay. So, and it's true what she's saying. At what point don't we need to come together?
Okay. Let me answer this question. Okay. She has mixed kids. We are mixed. When are we going to come together? We're just drifting farther apart. Over here, we're trying to wedge those gaps. Okay.
Right.
And the reason why I bring it up, that's why when a person was talking about white people, I checked them. Okay. And the reason why, and I'm using Roski because I like talking names. Okay. He's a couple of shades darker than me. Okay. Come on, you don't think you got a little bit of European up in you? And the reason, and it doesn't diminish you, doesn't make you less of a man or anything. And we need to get off that because for example, okay, my main girl, all right, she just took one of those identity tests and she's what she wasn't thinking what she was. That happens all the time. Somebody got some explaining to do. So no, in my eyes, we're all mixed. Okay, like my grandmother used to tell me. Okay, unless you think the aliens brought you here, where the hell you think white people came from? Where the hell you think white people came from? Okay, 2 white people cannot make a black baby. Okay, well, unless you have that black blood in you, that Meghan Markle thing. But no, stop it. What I'm saying, okay, is the truth. So at the end of the day, that hate stuff is anger, is fear. That's exactly what racism is. And the sad part is your own people would be racist or prejudiced, whatever word you want to use today.
Yeah.
Okay, your own people. All right, do some damn traveling. And the sad part is, as racist as you want to be, let's go to another country and get in some beef. We're Americans. That's the stupid part. And I've been there, trust me.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's true. In other countries, we're considered Americans. That's true.
We're Americans, okay, at the end of the day.
My
And
thing is,
your own people will shit on you. Go to another country and thinking, oh yeah, because I've seen it happen. Okay,
yeah,
with my Romanian
but
Italian wifey,
yeah,
come
and
over
that's
here and
why,
have
like
her
I said,
own
look,
people shit on her.
with racism, it's dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing, and people, yes, like researching, educating yourself, and starting at home, because that's where it goes. You got to start. You got to have your foundation, you know, and that's how I look at it. I look at, and I'd say every race, the different cultures, they're all important. They're all rich, no matter where you came from. Okay, it's not like one's better than the other. It's not like that. We all have important, strong cultures. Our ancestors all over the place with no joke. Okay, to be honest with you, me hanging out in the woods like they did 100 and something years ago, and whoa, or having to use the outhouse until you see what an outhouse look like. Whoa.
Yeah,
So, or getting your water from the well, and then you have to use the cheesecloth. You have to boil it. Okay, so it's just so much
I
stuff.
got to do with racism. Okay, but let's
But no,
let's stay
I'm
on
just saying. I'm
what
just
we're
saying
talking
as an
about.
example, our ancestors had really rich, cultures, and that's why I say for all of us, the racism thing. It's a shame that it's still there. Of course, we can't say it's not there. Okay, is it going to be cured in a day? Nope. There's always going to be people, no matter what you do, who you meet with. There's always going to be someone that has that or whatever. Well, what do you do? Do you hang with them or you don't hang with them? So you know what? If that's the case, it may be a person at your job. You may see racism at your job, because either you're smart or they don't like the fact of your skin color or whatever, that you don't get those promotions, or they try to knock you down because you're too smart or whatever the case is. We see this in all different levels. People could come on the platform and say all kinds of experiences. Is it right? No, it's not. It's not. But yes, racism is dangerous. And the bottom line is, and that's why I always say, you research stuff. Okay. Like I said before, I didn't know about Black Wall Street. Okay. I only found out like 2 years ago. And it was one of my granddaughters, another granddaughter who was away at college, and she told me about it. And
Okay,
I'm like, what? And then I went and I said, you know what? I never heard about that. And I reached out and I contacted you
why you
and
think you
asked
never heard?
you.
Why you think you never heard about it? It goes back to that fear.
Yes.
Okay, just like there's a fear. You talk to a lot of white people, they believe that it's going to be what they call get back. Okay, for all the
Yeah.
years you treated me bad, I'm gonna treat you bad. But
Yeah.
let's stay on where we're at as far as the double edge. The calling them crackers, calling them pale face and stuff. We see the way I like to do it is with class. With class. You
Right.
yell at me, I
I
don't
was
got
raised. I don't call a person out of their name. I respect
no,
you just
it's
like I want respect. I want respect.
no, yeah,
I
no,
will
but
give you,
believe it or not,
and
it hurts
that's
a person, MFC.
no, it does,
You
but
show a
it shows the
person that is
character.
hurting you, regardless of what, because you indulge it, digest it and just let it go where it needs to go. It don't need to
Yeah.
go nowhere. You know why? Because obviously you're hurting this person. Like I'm gonna use Velo for example. All the name calling and all that, Doc Bozo. Why am
And
I?
like I
I
said,
wasn't a bozo before. You thought I was kissing your ass. You feel me? I was cool in the game, but once I asked you a valid question, and then on top of it, you're getting a little bit of infrastructure of what I am and what I'm about. You don't like that. Trust me, I've dealt with this my whole life. Okay,
yeah.
dealing with white woman, even
No,
Latin
it's
woman.
true.
Okay, I
It's
was a little
true.
kid, couldn't go to the quinceañera because I was black. I was in Latin, so it goes all over, and that wasn't right. That scarred
Yeah.
me a bit. That's unspeakable.
Yeah.
So people don't know. So it goes both ways. It goes both ways, and
No, it
once
does.
again,
It
I'm gonna
does.
use my son, okay, my kids rather, okay, and just looking at them, you would think they're white. So for them to be mistreated, okay, just like Mama B, okay, if you have kids, which I think you said you have, it's not right for them to deal with
Right.
somebody that's not in your culture or whatever, and for them to be mistreated. Like I have friends. In fact, one of my close friends from my building up in the Bronx, I know we ain't gonna say the names, okay, is married to a Jewish person, okay, and she's a female, she's a black female married to a Jewish man, and here it is. I mean, it's so embarrassing. His family came, disowned him, threw his clothes in front of them, and now they're both doctors. They're the family doctors. Okay,
Hmm.
20, 25 years later. And this was
Yeah.
unbelievable when I heard it. And the crazy part about it is that racism. Remember, you're talking to a man
Yeah.
who his grandmother got disowned. Okay, you think that's right? And for me, I'll be doing a dishonest to not talk about it. That's
Yeah.
being disloyal. Okay, for me
Yeah.
to sit up here and act like, and I don't have to do it like that. I don't have to do it like that. I'm in the suburbs. Shit, I
Yeah.
can act like everything's all cool and good when it's
Yeah.
not. That's the fraud in a person
Yeah.
like Bello. That's the fraud in a person like Oliver, like artists. And it's nothing against these guys. Because like I said, you do your thing, I'm doing my thing. But you know what? We're
Yeah.
about elevating, and it's not nobody's better than nobody. Because at the end of the day, I hope these all those people I just named, I hope they see it. Because it's not a beef. I don't know these people.
And it's
I
a
don't,
learning curve. If people take it like that, but you know, they have that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So you know what? My whole thing is, I look at it like this. When I see for myself, if a person's not listening or whatever, I'm good. I'm not wasting my time. Life is too short. I'm going to the next
no,
project.
yeah.
But
When
my
it is,
thing is, with racism, look, like again, all right, my children, all my children are by black fathers.
uh,
Okay. So do I have a problem with that? I don't have a problem with that. Other people may have. Okay. But at the same time, I raised my kids with respect. Okay. I let them know about all the history. And at the same time, yeah, you know, you could see that you know, there's racism, and like I said, all over the place. But it's how you handle it. And at least if you have the knowledge, and this is what I always tell people, you know what? Look something up or whatever. And by
yes,
you having that information, you know, you make yourself stronger. You make yourself stronger, and then you're there to support and grow with your kids, or you know, because they, believe me, like I said, my grandkids, they're, you know, they're grown. I have young ones, but I have older ones too, and I'm learning a lot of stuff from them, just like they have learned from me. Okay, and like I said, we keep it real. So that whole, like you say, chatty patty and all the other stuff, I'm
you got to get
sorry.
on.
In my circle, I stay with positive people,
Yeah,
and I talk to a lot of people. Okay, and we keep it. Yeah, people have all kinds of stuff, and yeah, racism. This, you can hear it from all cultures how racism has affected them,
yeah,
and either they have to handle themselves different, or they have to be careful and guide the kids. It's just like, you know, like here when we had De Blasio. Okay, that was our mayor here in New York City. He's married to a black woman,
yeah.
so the cops went after him because he went on live TV that he had to have the talk with his kids because he has a boy and a girl. Okay, and so,
The
you
black
know,
talk, black talk.
he had the black talk, and because of that, the police for a while, they turned their back on him whenever it was a function and stuff like that, because they felt that he should never have come out to the public and say this. But he
That's
said, anybody that has children of color, you got to
right.
have that talk, because your interaction with a police officer is definitely going to be different than if you had it with someone that's white. And that that's the reality of the reality, you know. So it's not a bad thing in the sense that for you to talk as a parent, you're talking to your children or your nieces or nephews or whatever. Okay, and that's to make sure that when they're out there in the street, they're able to conduct themselves,
It
that
is a
you could get that your loved ones to come home safe.
I think it's a bad thing, MFC.
Of course, it's a bad thing. It
Why it's a
shouldn't even
bad
have
thing?
to be
Because
like that. But
exactly,
but
exactly,
again,
exactly. Remember, you talked to a man that was in a no knock warrant raid, okay, with a white woman in the bed, my co-defendant, okay, fighting the police. Now, in the sad part, that woman, what's her name, that got killed, okay, and I know in my heart, okay, had this been a black woman, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
right,
Other this situation, I could, just don't come to the top of my head.
right.
It's
But
so
it's
many
true.
things where here it is. It's this is what people need to be fighting over. And then when people come amongst your circles, put them like I'm gonna use for example China Mac. He's an Asian guy, okay, entrenched in the black community. Okay, he's a blood or Crip member, one of those, right? And he jumps all in people's business. I can't do that in your communities. That's what people need to be checking them on.
Yeah,
I would have to go through somebody else. Say I'm in an Asian gang, which they have. They have some black and Latinos in their little gangs, but they have to play their positions.
Right.
Why are you not doing the same? You
Right.
feel me? And the level of respect. Let's go back to this Velo guy. He's calling black sisters bitches and all that. That's because we do it. Let them tell it. Oh, y'all do it. Why can't I? That's
Yeah.
why we have to be on better behavior. What I mean by
That's
we,
true.
I'm talking about Latinos, blacks, okay, Asians.
It's true.
We need to start treating. I'm not talking high and mighty because let me tell you something. I used to use the B word all the time. I used to say nigga all the time. I say kinfolk. Kinfolk. Once I start seeing white people and man, everybody other than black saying it, and then when it's time to be black, you don't want to be black. Oh, I'm not black. I'm Dominican. I Haitian. You know, like come on. We look like buffoons. So let's get it together. Let's really get it.
No, it is important, and that's why I say we have to.
I'm with you, MFC. The name calling, that's whack. You got beef with me, say my name. You don't need to make up no. You know what? They might not even know you're talking about. You know how many people that who's the Doc Bozo? Say my name, fool, like I'm saying your name, Bello. You know why? Because I was raised with some real class. That's how we do it over here. Okay, not the trash. We don't need to do all of the we don't do it like that. Okay, and I'm born up in the BX. Fordham Road, all right, where all the mommies be, okay? Yeah, and I habla poquito, okay? Shout out to the mommies, Latino Unidos. But no, it's a big melting pot, you know, like Mama B said, you know what I mean? She got kids and everything. She's like UMFC. So I'm quite sure she's had to go through a lot, even with her family. And that's the fight we'll all be fighting. That's not right. All this shit, you know how much stuff I've been through, me personally, having my dead white kids and with the family and all of that, where things could have been repaired, things could have been taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Like even you, MSC, you got kids with black men when it wasn't really cool, as they say. So I'm quite sure you've been through a lot of it.
And that, like I said again, for me, and it's been like that ever since I was little, and I guess maybe from my training and in martial arts. And we're taught that, you are the essence of what your inner chi is. Okay. So I have never, and that's one thing I tell anybody. Okay. You never let someone else put you down. You never let them take you out of your spot. Okay. And what you believe in, you stand fast on that. Okay. And if you do something that is incorrect, you realize it's incorrect, you be man or woman enough to come and apologize and say, you know what? I responded the wrong way, and I realized I looked into this and I was wrong. I apologize. And that's heartfelt apology. Now, at the same time, when you have people that don't, and that's why people that know me, they know where I stand at. And that's why I, like they say, there used to be this commercial years ago saying, when E.F. Hutton talks, everyone listens. But my thing is when you're consistent and they know what kind of person you are and what your levels are and things like that, then it's all cool. Okay. I know for me, I don't go after anybody. Okay. If I have an issue, I believe in one-on-one. Okay. I don't believe in pigeons, what we used to call pigeons. Someone sends a message. Yo, you're supposed to be man enough or woman enough, come straight up. And that's the way I was raised. And that's why I teach my guys. Okay. But at the same time, I always give respect because not only do I demand respect, I'm always going to give respect. So it's never going to be a point that I would disrespect somebody. Okay. Because my mother's no longer alive, but hey, she's watching. Okay.
You know, it's funny you say that because I remember when
you
told us, you scolded, and that wasn't me, but I know who, for jumping. Yeah, you said next time I hear somebody get jumped, you gonna get jumped. Remember that?
That's why my mom was, and she knew how it was out there. So she already knew how I was. So she knew if she got a call that I had a fight, she already knew. I didn't start it, but she knew I finished it. So she already knew how I was as a kid. And I have an issue with bullies. I have an issue with people going after the weaker ones, or they go after people because they think that they're slow or something, I have a lot of good friends, and I know we all do. We have friends that might be mentally challenged, okay, or socially, they don't have it all the way socially, but they're really good people, okay? I look out for those people because if someone else doesn't, I'm not going to sit around and let somebody else make fun or make slight of them. because that's not the way we roll. Okay. And that's the reality with people. It's like, and I tell everybody that thing. For me, my family is the people that I meet in my lifestyle, because of how, in my case, my family, well, turned against me, not turned against me, but because of the fact that I had Black children.
They
I
turned
wasn't
again.
so
Come
cool.
on, Evan. See, you can
I
get the
wasn't
point.
so cool, but that's okay. I have no
No,
problem.
it's not
That's
okay, and that's
okay.
what we're talking about.
No,
No,
no.
it's not
What I'm
okay. You know
saying
why
is,
it's not okay? Because there's things not to cut you off, but there's things subconsciously, okay, that bothers us. Just like I told you, that quinceañera, that bothered me, and I had to realize that years
yeah.
later. You know what I mean? Like, what the, and this
Well,
is
I
just a
looked
little
at it.
thing.
I looked at things more. I had to say, I always looked at things more intelligent, in the sense that I'm always responsible for my actions. That's been embedded in me. You're responsible for your actions. So my thing is, if I knew that there's someone that doesn't like me for a specific reason, okay, then I don't chill with you. And I'm not losing, oh man, I don't know what I'm going to do today because this person doesn't want to be my friend
Yeah,
because now I have, children not in my race. But I'm like, you know what? Then that's a person I don't even want those kind of people around my kids,
got you.
because I don't ever want to have anyone make my kids feel uncomfortable
Yeah,
of who they are.
yeah.
So
Now
that's
you
why I
get me.
say
I feel the same
select,
way.
for me, I make sure that the people that are in my circle
Yeah,
are just, they're on the same wavelength that I'm at. Okay. And it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing. I always tell people that, to me, and this is my experience being around rich people or poor people. If I had the option, I stay with the poor people. And you know why? Because the poor people, they respect what they have. They work hard for what they got. Okay. They work hard, and they respect it. And it's like, I always call it priceless gems. Okay. And so at the end of the day, we're cool. Anybody that knows that has struggled, at least in New York, Con Ed, we have Con Ed, that's our utility thing.
oh
When
my
you
God.
get that envelope with the red line on it, don't play around. You got to open that up, because they're getting ready to shut your stuff down. Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Embarrassed about that? I'm not embarrassed about that, because I can guarantee you, anyone that has had the struggle, they already know about that. So my thing is that, does that make you a bad person? No. You're struggling, and you had to make a decision. Do I pay my rent and keep a roof over our house, or do I pay the utilities? Okay. Yeah. And that's that. And, and so that's why I try to tell anybody is, you know what, if you struggle, that makes you stronger. And that's why I have to me, not just because I'm on your platform, but I'm just saying, I'm giving salute to you in the sense that when Velo went after you, you stood your ground. And that was important.
Hello. Remember, they had
As
me up
as
on
as a
the
as a
Bullis
Black
Gotti show.
person,
I
yes,
knew they
as
were
a
going to
Black
come at
person,
me.
you stood your ground, and that was important to me. That was important because right away you could see the slightness, and
What do you mean?
you never lost a kick. You kept it moving. So you
Yeah,
know
but
what?
it was a setup all around MFC, and he tried to
Yeah,
make it like, oh, you went on a, like, and shout out to
yeah.
Behind the Bar. Okay, that was a situation. Okay, not that I deserve
And
it.
look how he's going after Behind the Bar.
No,
That's
but not
not right.
okay, but not that I deserved it. But I don't dismiss it because I know the history. Okay, and I'm
Yeah,
not used to a man like me. Usually, a man like me, okay, whether I'm mixed or not, but he has some white kids and all that, and I forget the turmoil. Okay, the history, the turmoil. You feel
yeah,
what I'm trying to say? And dismiss that. Oh, it's not like that. Like artists are saying, for example,
yeah,
oh, I got it. My boss, he's a good boss, a good white man, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about
yeah.
totality, and that was the
Right.
situation even with Bello. You feel
Yeah,
me? Or with
yeah,
anybody in general. We're talking about a
yeah.
race situation, and especially if you bring something to my attention,
Right.
okay, then that's when let's talk about it. And that's all it was, and it was blown up by him. The other side wasn't by me because that all the time I'm ready to build, and that was even looked at as a slight, like, oh, you're being scared of me. You're going on platforms talking about you just want to talk about it. Yeah, because that's where this came from. And
Yeah,
I can take it to the next level because remember, I'm a different person. We set up fights out here, and I do it for the community. But I'll get in the ring with anybody that feels zesty. You know why?
right.
I don't have no room for error. I'm not you. I can't be caught in the street bum breaking, okay?
Yeah.
Or squabbling or whatever. You know why?
Yeah.
Because you're not worth it. I have real things I want to take care of. So let's take it to that other option. Now all of a sudden it's the name
Yeah.
call, the putty, things that I definitely wouldn't tolerate to my face. But I want to bring that up because recently I got caught in this situation because I allowed and this was a racist, okay? Because he did some underlying talking about me, a guy that I worked with, and I allowed myself to be triggered to the point where I put hands on him, to the point where I could have been in some big trouble, okay?
Right.
The law got involved. So I'm using this as a teaching point to people. Don't let nobody push your buttons because at the end of
That's
the day,
right.
it's one person on your ID. And in my heart, even though I didn't get in trouble, knock on wood, but it's such a thing. When you know better, you got to do better. And I know
That's
better.
true.
I just
That's true.
okay. And it wasn't about pride, MFC, because I was just ready to leave. And that one glance, it's on
Yep.
a pop. And that I want to teach people, you're always in control. You have to always be in control. And what I mean by that is, if I allow you to control my actions, you got me. You understand
That's
what I'm
true.
saying?
That's
So
true.
by me allowing him that little smile, okay, instead of me just breathing, because I would have hurt him more. Just like, for example, I'm gonna use, for example, and let you go in, MFC. I catch my girl cheating on me, and I show her that it hurts me, versus me just leaving. That's gonna hurt her more. Why? Because she's gonna say,
Exactly.
"He didn't care about me." You understand?
Yeah.
So I should have never let those actions get to me like that.
That's true.
It wasn't like I was defending myself where he was coming on me and I had to defend myself. I went and got busy, which I
Right.
should have
And
done.
that's
I want to teach
yeah.
people, don't
And,
let
and
a person get you there. Always be in control. Go ahead.
well, it's just like when I teach people, you think of, if you're going to say something, and this is something I always tell people too, why did this person take it this way or that way? And I always say, well, you know what? Reverse yourself and think about how would you feel if someone said whatever they said to you that you was getting ready to say to them. So I always say, there's two things: the 10 seconds that you think about what you're going to say, because once you say it off your lips, you can't
Yep.
retract it. So I always say, because believe me, especially when a person gets angry, I believe that was said the other night on this other show, where when you're angry, just like they say, a drunk don't lie. When you're drunk, a drunk don't lie. Okay, so when you get angry, then stuff comes out that you normally can't keep contained, because now you're angry, you're in that rage. Okay, but again, the thing is I also say too, and I know you've mentioned that, the 24-hour rule, right?
Oh, yeah.
You take something and
I didn't listen.
to be
I
honest,
didn't listen.
and a lot of cases, you wait that 24 hours and you look at something much calmer. It's just like couples, okay? If you see that this person's not listening, because remember, someone's arguing, they're not listening. So you know what that other couple does is they slow it down, and they wait till the next day. They wait till everybody calms down, and then you can talk about it, and then it'll be taken, and those are the relationships that is about the communication part of it, right? And that's what's important also, So because we all have those funky days, and you might take something you said out of context, and then now, well, wait, where is attitude coming from? And then then you talk about it later on, and then you guys can laugh about it, But again, and that's what I always say, is that I feel, and this is a respect part for each person. Okay, your spot where you are, right? And you know what kind of person you are, and that's it. And you keep it like that. You never let a person take you out of character, because then they're letting you win. It's just like if you walk off of a job or something, then you let them win, and that's not, you got to have it your way. And then, true. So you know what? They don't like the way you move, then don't be on my camp. It's that easy. It's nothing, But what I always try to tell people, especially with racism, you do your research, and also at the same time with your experiences, because just like you said, Dr. Jaws, you had an issue, when you was younger, and that bothered you for a while. Okay.
Just like Roski. You heard what Roski said on a bullet.
Yeah. So
I really believe him, because of something he saw. Not even that happened to him. He saw the Emmett Till story, and that bothered him. Okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
that you know, I have siblings that they seen things, heard things. Okay, I had a brother that
Yeah.
got suspended because he didn't want to, you know, hold the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, because I have another cousin that told him, "Oh, we're slaves," and you know, he was a 5%er. So these are
Yeah.
things that. But before we go, MFC, I want to put out there to all those people that I named. Come on here, even Bello, Oliver. Okay, artists. Let's all get it, because this is a helping moment for people, and that ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Okay, and my thing is.
Yeah.
I'm all with helping people, and that's what it's
Right.
about at the end of the day. Okay, so
And
yeah,
it's
if you
learning.
show them,
You're learning
pass
stuff.
that word on, because you know what? That's what it's about. It's not about us. And if you have kids, you should really think it's about them, because your kid, whether it be white, black, Asian, okay, Latino, might mess with somebody not their race, and for them to be treated bad, that's our duty as adults, as a father, as a mother. You
Right.
feel me? You know,
Well,
so
like,
all the
hey,
people,
Mama B, I see
yes.
she asks, do you think racism is getting worse? Okay. I believe it's kind of tough. It's not a tough answer, but I say in some cases it is getting worse. But then in other cases, now that we have social media that we didn't have 50 years ago, more people are finding out information, and once they're finding stuff out, they're like, oh my goodness, and it's like an eye awakener, and so and because look, and that's something I tell about people all the time too. A lot of people that have large families, they have the grandparents, the great grandparents, and that can tell you stories and stuff like that. But in a lot of cases, a lot of people don't have those relatives to tell you, to pass down the histories. Okay, with the Native Americans, that used to be, there was a person, and that person's job their whole life was to take all the histories. They had to learn all the histories from everybody, and they passed it down. Okay, and that's what that person did, and they kept it going and kept it going and they kept it going. Okay, and again, so that the knowledge of the history would not get
Passed on.
lost,
Yeah.
and it was passed on. Okay, but unfortunately, in a lot of our cases, a lot of people, we didn't have those older people that passed down information. So a
Mhm.
lot of us we're finding stuff out by researching,
Yeah, but she just
or
said,
just like how you said earlier, how
yeah,
you someone you knew did the DNA thing and found out stuff that they didn't even know, right?
shout out Rita. Yeah, she tried to say, "Oh no, I'm gonna take another one." Okay, but no, her Mama B said that's why I believe it's getting worse. Social media, it's just
Yeah,
being Mama B respectfully is being highlighted a little more because of social media. But you have
yeah,
to remember, there were so many cases, okay, that were not reported. So when you hear a number, like say for example,
that's
you hear
true.
like, oh, it was 500 lynchings, you better believe it probably was 800,
Yeah,
900. Okay,
yeah,
just like that Black Wall Street you're talking about, MFC. Let's say, for
yeah.
example, they say, "Oh, 200 people got killed." Mark my words, it was way more than that. But
And
that's
and it wasn't just that one place. They said it was many Wall Streets all over the place.
no,
That's
no, oh yeah,
quiet,
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
which
Central
is like,
Park, look at
wow.
Central Park, Seneca Village. But
Yeah,
this
that was,
this
yeah,
is the thing. We're talking about now. We're talking about how can
right.
we help now. This is the way we do it. We take our time and our energy. We're trying to
Yeah,
help. Have,
yeah.
other no boundaries.
It's
Just
called
build.
building. Yeah,
Yeah, I come out my pocket. Even the fights that I throw down here,
yeah,
and I'm not doing this to throw no accolades my way. Everybody should be doing that. Why?
yeah.
Because we're in a mess. If I know a situation's messed
And
up,
that money goes
let's
back to
clean
the
it up.
community.
Let's clean it up. No, but
Yeah,
let's clean it up. We got something
yeah.
on the floor. Don't throw something over it. Clean it up. And that's all. That's all
No, it's
this is
true.
about. That's all
It's
this
true.
was about. I didn't
It's
say,
true.
"Yo, Bello, I want to be the snake. I want to fight you." No, I
Yeah,
want to know what was La Costa Nostra, because I know one thing. I felt like when I really, really learned about it, like, oh, this ain't no Hollywood hype. Oh, this ain't no. Remember, I'm
yeah,
entrenched with those people just as much as you. In
yeah,
fact, maybe more. Okay, but this is
yeah,
a person I don't know, but I know one thing: the actions that you showed me, not to mention,
yeah,
even Bello, even black people showed me you're not there like that. And even if you are there, you don't care. Because had
yeah.
you cared, if you my man or you my homie, I'm gonna put you on. Like, yo, this ain't my.
But
And I'm
that's the truth.
sure
That's true
the
too.
Seven God
Because
or that Calico guy that think he's the smartest in the room. And oh, but he can't be racist. I know him. What are you talking about? These actions. Then having okay,
it's
and
the
I asked
action.
all
That's
of these
true.
people that was sticking up for him, how you really feel, okay, a black dude calling a white dude master in public, and he's laughing about it. So when you're laughing
Right.
about something, okay, and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's something
Instead of
that's
checking
really
them. The same way MFC, you would check
Yeah.
us when we say a
Yeah.
nigga, and you would yell out your window, don't say that word. A damn white woman. Okay, because she knows that's not respectful. That's what I'm talking
No.
about. It's a each one teach one thing, and you don't have to be a person's parent to put them on.
Yeah. No,
Like, come on
No.
now. It takes a
No.
village to raise a child, and that really, really holds
that's
weight.
true. That's true.
That's what we need to
And-
get back on. That's why I say, like I said, this is an open panel for everybody. We're not talking about right now, but you guys know how to get in touch with me, and
Yeah.
and let's get on here and really
And
help.
we always try to
Really
bring
help the
points, we bring topics that's important to people, so you reach out to Dr. Josh and say what topics, and we'll pull the stuff up. But again, it's a learning for all of us.
No,
you
yeah.
know, but
I've
but
learned
at
so
the
many
same
stuff.
time,
I've
it
learned
just
so
makes
many
people, it makes people
Oh, be
more
quiet,
valuable.
MSC. I couldn't start my damn TV, goddamn. My damn 17-year-old son had. I wanted to watch something I couldn't. Anyway, yeah. Right.
I'm
Don't be
gonna
sleeping on
say
these
this.
kids. Yeah, don't be sleeping on these kids. Much love to everybody. You want to shout out MFC? You want to get any love?
MSC, I want to shout out to everybody out there.
Mama B.
Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always, especially to Mama B. Thank you so
Yeah,
much
yeah,
for,
Mama
for
B, holy
showing
God.
up. And and
Toby
right
B
there,
boy say hi.
I haven't met you, but the bottom line is that, like you said, you have biracial children, so you
Right.
already know what you had to go through. We all have our stories.
And that
But at the
wasn't
same-
right. That wasn't right. It's not even right.
That
with
it's
you.
right.
That's what I want
But
the
you know what?
dialogue
She's a-
with Mello.
What we call it? She's a survivor.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And the other term I call it is a warrior, because you know what? We don't stand down.
That's
We
right.
keep it moving, and that's the bottom line. I say survivor/warrior, and that's for anybody. Okay.
Yes.
And even if you, to be honest with you, even if you don't have biracial kids, just in general with racism,
Well, no,
Okay.
it can not even. It could be friends. It could be friends.
right.
I got
It's
people that
not a
got cut
cool
off
thing.
for having friends that wasn't the same race. I'm dead serious. Over a wedding, you want to put a white guy in his wedding. This is the black guy. Okay, family. So this is the thing.
Yeah.
Hug your neighbor, love your neighbor. Your neighbor don't love you. Keep it moving. You ain't got to keep stressing it, but hopefully they'll
Yeah.
come to the light. Anybody that had problems, like I said, hopefully let's fix it so the next person doesn't have to go through this. That's what it's
That's
all
true.
about. Anyway, much
That's
love.
true.
We'll be back. We got the queens talking tonight. Ladies gonna be getting busy. Don't get too crazy. We know how you ladies get.
Something big as B. Dr. J.O.Z. Bomb Legacy.
Call me the rap slayer, killing the weak whack bars. I'm that star plus a legend, crush and stomp with the rhythm. When you hear my roar, you gon' think I wrote the art of war. Sleep on me, and bet I put you on E. Don't get gassed on that empty tank. Take them to the bank. My rank done been popped you. Easily I dropped you. One more than one might cop to a trade, nigga stop through. What it is now, really what it be, yo. I want a unique dime, not no schizo. You freeload, while I'm the Mac nigga, real rhyme rap nigga. Pull the trigger on them without a blink, without a warning. You know we swarming very humbly. Sting you like a bumblebee. Ow, don't make me wait. Don't make me late. You wanna hate, I want them riches. Some hourglass bad switches. Coolie cool foolish niggas don't get upset. I bomb the wacky ass raps you tried to bring on deck. Your whole swag can't compare to mine. See, I'm the sign of times. Until my death, you could bet I'ma do them crimes. See, John's a Perry, you gon' always bring that lyrical. I dare you to test this and watch you get arrested. Locked into my terror dome, now you gon' know it's really on. Really on, really on, really on.
Yes, I'm one of the best. Yes, yes, I'm one of the best. Yes, 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 I'm one of the best. Yes, 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 I'm one of the best. It's that real rap, chilly, chill, relax. Or you can get that, flip that like an acrobatic. Like my sister, all dramatic. You don't want no static. I leave you scared up in the attic with a mother Roger Rabbit. Real smooth, nothing to it. Overkill the competition, leave him lost up in the sauce while I'm eating in the kitchen. Let everybody know this that new rap edition. I got what you missing. This that bomb, man. Listen, get it, got it good like it ought to be. Treat me like a king. All these girls wanna spoil me. Crush them like the cyber cause all Brooklyn, baby, keep it calm. Catch your breath, you gonna miss them steps. I'm so on fleek. skill level type unique. From Broadway to Bell Road, homie, watch me get it. You gotta want it, really hit it, expect to move. Time to pivot in the middle of the winter. My whole town so summer. Yes, I'm one of the best. Yes, yes, I'm one of the best. Yes, 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 I'm one of the best. Yes, 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 I'm one of the best.
SB, Dr. J.O.Z., Bomb Legacy.